Hello and welcome to Surprise. We both love movies. This week we decided to do something a little different, and we decided to watch the movie or mockumentary Death to 2020. Now I know this has been a long year for everybody, and we all needed something just to hit the release valve and relax and have a good time and look back on the year and go, you know what? Even though this is a horrible, horrible year, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And so that's what Death to 2020 is basically about. It's a mockumentary that goes back from the viewpoint of a director and a documentarian who goes back and interviews several people. I believe there's a press journalist, there's scientists, there's the Queen of England, and just a couple of everyday regular Joes. This movie stars everybody. There's literally an all-star cast.
Yeah.
And it's narrated by Lawrence Fishburne. So it starts off with one historical event after another, beginning with the Australian fire, Trump's impeachment, the young royals' exits, the coronavirus, George Floyd, and it takes us all the way up to the U.S. presidential election results. So it really takes you throughout the whole year, beginning to end, and shows you what kind of crap show it was. So, Aaron, you finally got an opportunity to sit down and watch this movie. So what were your first thoughts? What did you think of the movie?
Well, first of all, I have to correct you. It actually takes us into the first year of the new presidency. So
Okay.
you got to watch the end. You got to watch the credits, okay? Don't leave during the credits is all I got to say. All right, so I had a little bit of trepidation about watching this movie. I'm so sick of this side, that side, this side. I'm just tired of the politics and everybody going after each other. I'm to the point where right is right, wrong is wrong. We need to be done with it. So I thought this movie was going to be one-sided, and that was my fear going in. And it is, I'd say it's probably 80% one-sided, 20% the other side. It was pretty well balanced. It could have been a little more well balanced than it was, but they got some really funny jokes in there about Joe Biden, and pay attention to his age. It was pretty funny when they announced Kamala Harris as his running mate and her age compared to his. I will tell you, I didn't laugh until about 35 minutes in.
Wow.
I found this movie is witty. It is very witty. Would I call it overly hilarious? No. Here's what finally got me to laugh, though.
All right.
It was the scientist. When they started doing the juggling and stuff, he's like, what do you guys do? What does that even have to do with this? And that's when I finally laughed out loud. And then they go back to him later when things get really bad and they're talking, and they show this very inappropriate video, and he's like, what is wrong with you people? and it cracked me up. He was the funniest part of the whole movie. Okay. So that got me to laugh, and so did the age thing with Biden. But outside of that, I didn't find it overly funny. And the hardest thing I think for them to incorporate into this was the whole George Floyd thing. Because that's not a funny event, no matter how you look at it. And it's hard to turn it into something as satire that everybody's going to be satisfied with. Luckily, they didn't dwell on that, but they did mention it. So the only thing I would have left out of the movie to make it perfect was, what's her name from Saturday Night Live?
Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones. She was not funny at all. I don't know why.
She's not your humor. She's
not
your humor.
She's not. And I've never found her funny, and I don't know why people gravitate towards her. I don't think she's funny. And so she was like, to me, it didn't fit. Everything else did, though. Tracy Ullman was freaking. I didn't realize it was her till partway in. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Tracy Ullman. And then I did the exact same thing with Hugh Grant. They have a wig on him with white hair, and he looks much older. And I was like, what? And then I realized halfway through that Lawrence Fishburne was narrating it. And I was like, man, they got everybody in this thing.
They really
so
did.
I did find it witty.
It was.
I did not find it overly hilarious, though.
Well, here's the thing: is that yes, it was very witty. It used every aspect, I think, of comedy. From Rules of Three to a little bit of switching around clips to mismatch what's going on to just dry wit and a lot of a satirical comedy tropes that they used. And this movie is very To me, it was very funny. It was probably one of the more funnier movies I've seen. I'd say probably one of the top 3 funny movies of 2020 to me. And yeah, it does tilt a little bit to the left. I wouldn't go 80%, but I would definitely look in the 60 to 70% range. I got that. But it really makes fun of everybody.
It does.
Really does a good job of kind of making you look back on the last year and see a little bit of the comedy, a little bit of hypocrisy, a little bit of the silliness, a little bit of the craziness. And my favorite characters was probably the Karen character. Was pretty funny. At the second half of the movie, they introduced a kind of Karen-esque character. That was pretty funny. Hugh Grant's character was funny, and also Samuel L. Jackson's character. He was very funny throughout the movie. It really just it makes fun of everybody. So I mean, if you really just need a release, something to just kind of just woo-saw and just kind of let go of it all, you are going to laugh, is what I tell you. You might not find it the funniest movie of the year, but you will definitely find it a very, very good comic movie, is what I would say, no matter who you are. And if you will, then you know what? The swamps of 2020 have already swallowed you whole. So get ready to laugh.
Yes.
Pop it into your Netflix and take a look.
All we can do is laugh at this point. And I think that's the whole point of the entire thing, is this has been the most messed up year that I can ever remember in my lifetime. Like it was screwed up from the beginning all the way until the end. And I don't think we're done. So it's going to be interesting to see. And they make that point at the end of the movie. Like I said, stay for the credits, because they do lead into how much crazier this can get. And it was pretty funny how they tied it together.
Yeah.
The other thing, I mean, they bring everything into this. And this is one thing I did want to bring up too. The other thing I found absolutely hilarious is there was a character in the movie called Kathy. She was, I can't remember if she was British or Australian, but
she's like Irish or British or
I can't remember what she was, but she was hilarious when she started talking about Zoom and how she got good at glitching. That was pretty funny too. So that and the whole thing with the scientists, I thought were the funniest parts, and they were the things that were made up for the show. It wasn't based on factual stuff. So the writers were good. It's when they have to deal with the real life events where you kind of have to. They did a good job of weaving everything, though. I think they did. So it is incredibly witty, and it's got to make you laugh at some point. I didn't laugh till 35 minutes in with the scientist, but from then on, I found quite a few laughs in the second half. So
it definitely builds steam. So
yes, it does, and especially the end. Like I said, the end puts it all together, which is awesome.
All right. So what did you think? If you had to give this a movie score, what is it rate for you, Aaron, as a movie?
As a movie, I'd give it a 7.5.
Okay.
That may change down the line. I think it's just because we're still at the tail end of 2020.
Okay.
If I had to give it a film score today, it's a 1 and done. I would give it a 3. But down the line, I think it's going to be much higher. I think it's going to be much funnier 5 or 10 years from now.
All right, fair enough.
What'd you think?
All right, for me, it's a good movie. I'm not going to give it a film score, is what I'll say. But it is a very funny movie, and it does what movies are supposed to do, and that's take you somewhere else out of your life and let you escape for, in this situation, in this movie, only an hour and 10 minutes, but it was a great release for that hour and 10 minutes. Yeah. So for me, it gets an 8 because it was literally one of the funniest movies I saw of 2020. And so it's easily passes my movie standards, and it deserves an 8 for the laughs that I got from watching it. So yeah, easy score.
Yeah, it's good. All right. So that's what we have for you guys today. Again, this was the film called Death to 2020, exclusively on Netflix. It's not streaming anywhere else. It's a Netflix movie, and they actually make fun of themselves. They got a couple of funny plugs in there too. So everything got a plug in this. So you will find, there's a lot in there. It's a treasure trove. Let's put it that way. But we appreciate everybody who joins us for our reviews week after week. We will be coming back with more in the future. Be a little slim this week. I got a daughter getting married, so we couldn't do a full show. But we will get back to a normal schedule as soon as all the craziness is over, and we will have many more movie reviews coming up shortly. So we do appreciate you guys can find us on all the different streaming platforms for podcasts and also on YouTube. So that's all we got for you today. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Lamont.
We'll see you guys on the next one.